Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamers Thoughts discussion. And this I'm going to be talking about Nintendo and the Smash Ho community. I mean the Smash Bros community. Okay. Look, I know that the tournament that was coming up, I don't know the name specifically because I just don't remember right this second, but I know that there were a lot of people looking forward to it. And unfortunately, it was all over my damn Twitter timeline yesterday. And I didn't want to see it all day yesterday. But that's where it was. Because people were arguing back and forth over it. Okay. Now, if you're a fan of Nintendo and their IPs, you've seen how this boils down. Something had to have happened that they didn't agree with. Something somewhere had to have happened that they didn't agree with. As simple as that. We know this for a fact, that something had to have come about with this that they did not agree with at all. Now, from my perspective, I do think it's BS, to be personally honest. Even though, yeah, they're using Nintendo's game, whatever. People want to argue about the reasons back and forth specifically. We don't necessarily know the exact reason because none of us, unless one of them happens to be listening to me, which I highly doubt, but none of us are on Nintendo's board of directors. We're not their shareholders. We don't know what goes on in their meetings back and forth. We don't know the specific reasoning as to why they wanted something shut down. Even if they give us this lame duck reasoning that they put out for everybody, we don't know the specifics. That's all we do know. Short and simple. It's their IP. It's their right to do what they want to do with it. Whether or not you are playing a modified version of their game, it's their right to do what they want with it. Now, the legitimacy of some of their talking points can always be argued. But we still don't know specifically what was said, what was done that triggered them to respond the way that they did to make sure that this event did not happen. We don't. But when people go on these tirades and say, well, Nintendo's the only company, Nintendo has zero reason. One, they're not the only company that does it. Look at Sega and the Shining Force incident. Go look at Square Enix back when Chrono Resurrection was a thing. Go look at multiple different companies that take down multiple different games because that's what they want to do. It happens. Secondly, they have plenty of reason. The IP belongs to them. They have the rights to do what they want with it. It's just the same thing as that situation last year where the guy had claimed one of Mr. T's videos for an image that Mr. T used that he got off Google Images. And the guy claimed his video over it and threw a tirade over it from a picture. Now, take that to a company who worked on a product, made a product, and built it from scratch themselves. Do you think for a millisecond that they're going to give a damn what you think? No. If anything, they have a more legitimate claim to why they would take something down over the guy with the picture. But I'm pretty sure that most of the people talking would be like, oh, well, I can understand why he wanted that taken down or why he wanted to claim that. It was his picture. He put the work into making the picture. Now, I'm not like, just put this out there. I'm not at all trying to say that getting a good picture is easy to do. But getting a good picture, a really good picture, mind you, is far easier than coding a whole game. Simple as that. No matter how you want to slice it. That is much simpler than coding a whole game. So, let's get that out the way. Secondly, people need to stop acting surprised. We know that this is a possibility. And if rumors are true, from what I've seen floating around, the people that were running this event were warned that this would be a possibility, and they still trudged on with it either way. No matter whether or not you agree with Nintendo in this situation or not, again, they own the rights to the IP. It's theirs. If somebody used your belongings, something that you made, in a way that you did not like or was against the purpose, for whatever reason, you have a right to stop that from happening. Hell, as bad as this might sound, right now, if any company that I have talked about in any of my videos that has featured gameplay or their games, if they decided that they wanted to take down my channel, they could. They could take down my channel. They could take down a lot of my social media because of the fact that they just didn't like that I did that way. It's simple. And as much as I would hate it, I'd have no right to tell them they couldn't. Even if, yeah, I'm talking about what games would work on what platforms, or talking about what features would be good for a certain platform or game or whatever. If they wanted to take my stuff down, they could. As simple as that. Be it Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, Sega, Capcom, EA, Bethesda. Shit, so many damn companies I've talked about over the years. LizardCube, .mu, SNK, any of them, they could take my stuff down. As long as they wanted to. Hell, my Mega Man 8 gameplay videos that are the Sega Saturn version of the game were claimed. And they were related to the Mega Man Classics collection, even though the footage from me playing can't be the footage from that game because of the aspect ratio alone. But still, they made the claim. It's their IP. I could try fighting it and having the clips removed from those videos, but then they would look so disjointed and it would throw everything off. So I'm just going to leave it alone. But seriously, the shit belongs to them. Get the hell over it. Like, it's not yours. Now, they should set up something where they can do licensing for people to do these events, which would kind of, help shut a lot of this stuff down. But then there's like, where does that line stop, and how do we mitigate that from things like online streaming? So it's one of those things that they need someone to really work this out. And if they did do licensing for these types of events, it would need to be cheap. It would need to be extremely cheap, to be fair, especially for a game as old as Melee. But I mean, that's it. People need to get over it. Let it go. But I'm not gonna harp on this too much longer. Like, I think I've made my point. I think I've said my piece. It's just one of those things people gotta let go. Get over it. Move on. You know what's gonna happen. You know what is a possibility. Let it go. Simple as that. But thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. And if you have any other feedback, please either comment on YouTube or on Anchor or wherever the podcast is that you find it. Peace out, everybody. I just remembered something I meant to add into that discussion, and I should have, but it was also a thing that was happening earlier this year where tournaments were happening and minors were paired with adults in hotel rooms without parental consent, parental guardian or consent for those types of situations. And that's something that they probably highly looked at and thought about. Even if there were a bunch of other tournaments going on, there was something that they probably considered. Just another thing to think about before people just start throwing judgments around and get angry and flip shit. Peace out.